And it came to pass in the time of her travail, by the way, this is Joseph's time, right? So we did Abraham, we did Isaac, we did Jacob. Now we're the life of Joseph. We're in the meat of Joseph. We are introduced to Joseph in Genesis chapter 37. Right now we're reading Genesis chapter 8. And remember, this is the life of who? Joseph. Yeah, we're in chapter 38. But if it's the life of Joseph, why are we talking about what's happening here? And it's not Joseph. And it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. These are his brother's children. And it came to pass when she travailed, we're talking about a pregnancy, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound up his hand with a scarlet thread, a red thread, saying, "This came out first." And it came to pass as he drew back his hand that, behold, his brother came out, and she said, "How hast thou broken forth this breach he upon you?" Therefore his name was called Perez. Let me explain to you what's happening. This is Judah's children. Judah is who? Judah is Joseph's brother. But because of the curse that's operating in that family against the firstborn getting the blessing, catch it now. You see this happening in his brother's life. It happens in Joseph's life too, by the way. You got to go all the way to like Genesis chapter 50 to remember when Jacob was blessing his grandsons. He blessed the younger son instead of the elder son, which he was supposed to bless the elder son. But I want to talk about it here, and here's why I want to talk about it. Because what we're looking at happening were people making decisions, people doing stuff. But here we got two babies. We got babies, twins in the womb. Perez and Zorah. The eldest was Zorah, but Perez got the blessing. Please, I'm saying this for a reason. How could this be when you're talking about babies? What does the baby know to fight his brother so he could come out first? The baby don't know nothing, not consciously. Something inside that child that has been passed on, just like he's seen it from he didn't see it. It's just in there, right? It just got there. It reached these children the same way it happened between his dad and Isaac and Jacob, the same way it happened between Ishmael and Isaac, the same way it happened between the Esau and Jacob, the same way it took place. That's the same thing that's happening here with Joseph's nephews, twin boys in the womb. You know why this is important to mention? Because it establishes that just because you feel it, that doesn't make it right. I'm going to talk to the older people because I'm going to talk to the younger people because the older people have gone to sleep on me. My young folks, just because you feel it, that don't make it right. You might feel like setting a fire, but is it right to set that fire to that house? I don't hear my young people. You might feel like you want to see some fire, but is it right to set that couch on fire? You might feel like you want to take it because you want it, but it's not yours. Is it right to steal it? You might feel attracted to somebody you know you shouldn't be attracted to. Is it right to partake in sexual acts unless it's your husband, your wife? You see, I might feel like killing everybody in the school because I can't stand them. But does it make it right to go and shoot up that school? And sometimes you don't even know where the feeling came from. Just like these twins, they're fighting in the womb. They don't even know why. Like I said, you can't stand your parents because they neglected you. But somehow, instead of treating yourself better, you neglect yourself just like your parents neglected. You couldn't stand the fact that they told you you wouldn't be nothing, but all your actions are leading you to be nothing. And you don't know where it came from. These twin boys didn't even know the events with their granddad, with their great-granddad. But here they are, acting out something. But they don't even, how old are you? You're not even a day old. You're not 5 days old? I seen a little baby on Facebook, so small. The daddy kissed the baby, and the baby turned around and kissed the daddy. I said, the child's possessed. It was funny. It was real funny when Stephanie, very advanced, extremely advanced. Even right now, she don't look her age. She don't act her age. She was a baby, tiny, and she was walking. And she wasn't like a full size. She was underweight. She didn't eat much. She did a lot of sleeping. So she was small. And people at the church would ask me, would think that she's a very little baby. And they always see me holding her because I often didn't put that child down. She stayed close to my heart. And one day, I had her on the ground. I put her down. I don't know why. And they saw her walking. They said the child's possessed. Because how could that little tiny thing be walking around? These babies fought in the womb, just like their daddies fought for the birthright, just like their daddy and uncle fought for the birthright, just like their granddad fought for the birthright, just like their great granddad fought for the birthright, and they don't even have any knowledge of what they are. That's enough groundwork. My propensity towards alcohol may have come somewhere. My lustful eyes, my greedy living, my temper, my propensity to take something that don't belong to me, my attractions. They say you were born like that. And I'm here to tell you that the curse can be broken once and for all. I recognized something in the story that I want to establish. Again, I'm talking to my young people. Reuben is the eldest brother of Joseph. Reuben should have gotten the birthright, but he did not. Matter of fact, there were 10 other brothers, 10 brothers before Joseph, 9 others besides Reuben that got passed and didn't get the birthright. It fell to the 11th child. But I want to see what happened with Reuben. And this is the last bit of information that I'll share. I'm trying to establish which verse I want to read when I speak on Reuben. Maybe I don't want to go back to what he did, which we find in, if you're taking notes, Genesis chapter 35, verses 21 and verses 22. Y'all with me? Reuben, in verse 35, in chapter 35, verses 21 and 22, he found himself, and please, this is the Bible. If you guys aren't reading your Bible, there's a difference between descriptive text and prescriptive text. Are those words too big for y'all? There's a difference between the Bible describing something and the Bible prescribing something. The Bible could describe what took place, and there's a lot of crazy stuff. Boy, y'all should have read it. If y'all didn't read it, I'm telling y'all should have read it. And if y'all was serious, y'all should have backtracked on your reading. Like, wow, this is insane. It's better than The Shine on it's better than Power. It's better than, what are the shows? It's better than Yu-Gi-Oh! It's better than animes. Amen. I don't have a church. I exhausted y'all. And what took place, and this is crazy, is Reuben had a lust issue, loving beautiful ladies. That's in him. He don't know how it got there. And Reuben found himself lying with his stepmother, which was probably a pretty woman as well. And the dad was vexed about what Reuben did. And the dad said, I will not bless Reuben, my firstborn, with the blessing, for you have defiled my bed. Dag, I could not find a verse. And then I think about Joseph. I'm going to love this. I'm turning off all the notes. Couple chapters later, after being done wrong by his brothers, he finds himself in Potiphar's house. Pierre, OG, addressed this last week. And Potiphar's wife came on to him. And he's been getting in trouble all his life with his brothers. They probably made his life miserable, tripping him and slapping him behind his head. And they couldn't even say a peaceful thing to him or about him. They probably made this man's life miserable. And I'm sure he probably did the same thing, running, Daddy, 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 your son's out there acting a fool again. His effort, his rebellion against these brothers that can't stand that he's favored. Favoritism. And after they sold him into slavery, by the way, Reuben, how about that? Reuben was the eldest. Whose responsibility is it for Joseph's safety? Reuben. And Reuben, at the whole time, I never figured out the story. I never could figure out why Reuben, out of all the brothers, was the one was saying, no, don't kill him. Let's throw him in the pit. But then again, if you read the story carefully, Reuben went back later on to get his brother out. And then the boy was gone. He went back. He said, what happened? And not knowing that Judah had schemed and sold, and his brother was already sold into slavery. So he was actually making an effort to save his brother's life, because it was going to fall back on him as the eldest. He could not protect his baby brother. The other brothers schemed, did not respect him enough to do what he said. They listened to Judah, which had more influence over them. You got to be careful who has influence over you. And they sold the man into slavery. So here he, understanding, knowing what he's been through, wouldn't he be able to just sit back and say, you know what? God don't care about me. I don't got no more family. I could just do whatever the hell I want to. It won't affect anybody anyways. I'm talking to the young people because the older people done fell asleep. Couldn't he have just did that and say nobody cares anyways? They think I'm nothing anyways. They sold me out for nothing anyways. They betrayed me and sold me to be a slave anyways. My daddy don't even know I'm alive. I'll probably never see them again anyways. No, he knew that there was a God in heaven. That even if Potiphar didn't know, that God in heaven would see what he did. And he rejected her, and she accused him of rape. I want to let you guys know, when he ran out of there and lost his shirt, he lost the battle, because it was her word against his. They believed Potiphar's wife, or even if they didn't believe her, they can't come against her because she got so much more power than he does. They threw him in jail. And you might have said, you might think to yourself, oh God, I'm preaching now. You might think to yourself, oh man, he paid the price for doing what's right. He should have just slept with her. He paid the price for standing for what's right. He's suffering and he did what's right. And I'm here to tell you, yes, it appears like an L. He lost the battle, but he won the war. There's a war in the heavenlies. And let me tell you, that curse that was on his brother Reuben, that curse that was on his brother Levi and Simeon, that curse that was on his daddy, that curse that was on his granddaddy, I'm preaching now, that curse that was on his great-granddaddy, Joseph was finally able to break the curse. Because he would not allow the enemy access to his life anymore. You may have gotten my brothers. You may have gotten my daddy. It might be genetically encoded in my DNA. But when God is making a champion, you don't function like everybody else. They might want to wallow in the pigsty, in the mud with the other pigs. They might want to be out there in the club with the loose people. They might want to be involved in all the criminal activity. They might look like they're winning, but I'm telling you, when God is making a champion, it just looks like they're winning. Because ultimately you will win the war and you'll break the curse and you'll see blessing, not just for you, but God's says not just 4 generations will be blessed. God said he'll bless 1,000 generations to come. I wish I could say something else, but I can't. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.